2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On Beat Off Script. I am Brandito. I am joined here by Mel, and today we're going to be talking about a 90s pioneer in the EDM space. Kind of our first, really true, specifically EDM album that we're really covering. You know, we've covered Marabou State and stuff like that, more electronica kind of sounds. But this is really this is full blown. We're going down the EDM train with a little Honey Dijon, who I'm sure if you are in the EDM sphere, you've heard of at the very least. I've had the opportunity, especially knowing that we were going to cover, to watch a lot of live sets and stuff like that over the last little bit. Strongly encourage it. It looks like an absolute blast. Made me maybe want to go to a rave at some point. I'm probably never going to end up going to a rave at any point.
I don't like crowds enough for that. But
it looks like an absolute blast, and Honey Dijon is one of those artists that I think makes it a lot of fun. So we're going to be covering her new album, Nightlife, today. But before we get into it, Mel, how's things?
Things are good.
Nice. Cool. That's the same thing here. So let's get right into the music, hey? Nobody wants to hear about our lives. Nobody cares. Let's go ahead and start talking about it. So Honey Dijon, if you haven't heard of them, let me tell you a little bit about them. Honey Dijon is an American house DJ from Chicago. She started off as a DJ in the 1990s after enjoying the Chicago club scene in her youth. She also became pretty active in production work from the 2000s until now. While she was in Chicago, she had the chance to be able to work with some super notable DJs like Derek Carter, Mark Farina, and Greenskeepers. Later in the 90s, though, she did leave Chicago to move to New York, where she brought a little bit more of her techno aspect of Chicago's house style to New York's more underground scenes, which led her the opportunity to be able to work with some fashion shows. And a rise to fame, particularly with doing collaborations with Louis Vuitton and Dior's runway shows.
Sick. Bless you.
Again, man. This has happened to me now
sick.
2 albums in a row now. I keep sneezing
You're
in the middle
cursed.
of them. No doubt, hey? She got her chance at Gold when she was named DJ Mag's Best of North America Awards Best DJ, and also receiving nominations in the DJ Award for Best House Artist and House Master. She was a member of the Album of the Year nominated and Best Dance and Electronic Album of the Year winning team behind the album Renaissance, which you might have heard of, producing the tracks Cozy and Alien Superstar. She also was a shout out from Charlie XCX at the 2025 Brit Awards for being a major influence on Charlie XCX's album Brat. So obviously a pretty, like I said, kind of pioneer-esque in that sense. I'm sure she'd probably disagree with me and be like, there was way more house DJs before she started on this kind of stuff. But in my opinion, if you're still doing things 30 years later, there's got to be something that you're doing right. So I got no problem using that term. Her style really incorporates a lot of disco, techno, and house, departing from kind of classic house and giving it a little bit more of an upbeat, kind of dancey vibe to it. Nightlife is her 3rd studio album, following her debut, The Best of Both Worlds, in 2017 and Black Girl Magic in 2022. A pretty cool look at how house music and really EDM in general has developed into something a lot larger, seeing as how it took her 20 years to be able to start putting out her first record. So people are actually going out and buying CDs and records of people's work, as opposed to, it always kind of being an underground, my music is just in the milk crate style performances. So before we jump into Honey Dijon, Mel, what were your thoughts going into this album?
I loved Renaissance, so that kind of made me excited. So yeah, I didn't realize who Honey Dijon was. You pointed out that they did, that they wrote and produced Cozy and Alien Superstar. And I'm like, oh, well, now I'm even more excited to listen. Fun.
This is honestly one of those things too, where when you hear this album, then you start to really hear how much she influenced
I have such a new respect for all of it, honestly. Like even going back and listening to Renaissance now after, it's just like, I don't know. I'm finding more of an appreciation for sure.
Yeah, 100%. So like that's one thing that I really like gave a lot of credit, especially for the fact that we're covering it too as well, is like, yeah, I started to really realize just how much she was impacting. And like during the singles that we've been recording literally earlier today, like the Lady Gaga Doechii piece and like hearing the house music and how it was done there, I'm like, this is really, really directly connected. So like it was cool to kind of experience that part of it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. I just really quickly wanted to double check my notes because I realized, so the opening track on it is the title track, the Nightlife. I didn't grab a clip from this version of it because there is two versions of it. This is the club mix extended version that is on it. Really, and I'm not sure if Mel was aware of this, but for those of you who don't know or don't listen to a lot of EDM,
I wanted to ask this question, and I'm so pumped that you're just giving us the answer.
Yeah, 100%. So basically, all a club mix is what they'll do is they'll usually extend the beginning and the end of it, so it's easier for you to be able to mix it in to the song beforehand and afterwards. And then when you see a club mix usually just means it's boost based. They bass boosted. There we go. That's the way I was trying to say it.
I knew what you meant, but yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah, 100%. I was like, boost basted? I'm like, that can't be right. It's just bass boosted on it. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time because we're going to talk about it at the later part of the track where it is not the club mix and not the extended version. So we'll get to that later. So let's start things off with a little bit of Slight Work featuring Brie Runway. Let's give it a spin. And maybe I should have had the clips open and ready to go before I did it, but I didn't. So here we go.
In these souls like Chinese stir fry. Ring-ling-a-ling, that's money on the line. The Chanel gloves, black and white, just like a dice. How the fuck can I be on chill without a size? Not a bird-ass bitch, but trust me, I'm fly. I got a bag that go with this bag. I got a walk that go with this ass. I got a whip that give you whiplash. Use every chance to get a bitch mad. Slight work, slight work, slight work, slight. Bitch, that's light work, light work, light work, light work.
This is one of my favorites.
Yeah?
I was instantly in, but like after listening to Renaissance this week, I was really hoping to get some bad bitch energy, and this is exactly what I wanted out of this album. So I was pretty pumped right off the bat. I was like, okay, girl, pop off. Flow I thought was really impressive. There's the funny line, move bitch, like Ludacris said, and I giggled out loud at that one. And yeah, there was a fun change up right before he wrapped things up that really kind of like shook things up a little bit for me.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
no, this
I
is
like this
obviously one. It's a really bass loaded track to begin with. Kind of got that jungly vibe with that steel drum sort of feeling that kind of like pushes through on it. Really distorted on that side of things, and I thought that was kind of a cool note about it. It really embodies more of that hip hop styling on the vocals, but I think it really helps differentiate it from just a kind of traditional house music on that side of things. Yeah, I could see why she was working with Bey when I listened to this, because like this one I was like, oh no, like this makes sense. I know exactly where you were on all of those albums, 100%. So like yeah, it was, it's house music. So there we go. Right into there. That takes us into Just Fens featuring Addy Oasis, Danielle Ponder, pardon me, and Suni MF, as long as I'm saying that right. So let's go ahead and listen to that.
I love how groovy this one is. The chorus is so much fun here. I really enjoyed like the reverb and layering of the vocals. It made like a really cool atmosphere. There was a fun rap on the bridge. vocals she served. I don't know. I was in. This one was fun too.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. This was one of my favorites on the album for sure. This was the house that I was anticipating that we were going to get from her right off the gate. So Slight Work actually like felt like kind of not what I was looking for. And then when this hit, I'm like, yeah, this is perfect. What I really appreciate so much about what she does is like how subtle her DJ work really is. Like she really does a good job of being very supporting as opposed to being kind of in your face and making it about her work. She really lets the vocalists kind of like be the spotlight on it. And I think that that's something that's really, really cool that she does. And it's consistent throughout the whole album. I'll talk about it a couple of times, kind of moving down as we keep going. But yeah, we get some real funk on the chorus. It's so much fun. You got that 80s kind of pop sound that's going with it. It works really well. Combination of all of the different vocal artists really make the solid track. Yeah, at this point, I'm jazzed about like what we're about to get as we keep moving forward here on it. So yeah, they almost had me lost on the first two tracks, especially because the Nightlife was just kind of the bass boosted. Again. The Nightlife, but that track comes back around for me later. But at this point, I was like, I don't know what I was going to get after the first two tracks. This one got me all the way in. I'm like, yeah, okay, this is what I expected.
I knew coming into this that my favorite tracks were definitely not going to be yours, but yeah.
Sure. And that brings us over to International, featuring Mette, Mette. I don't know. Somebody in the comments can correct me on that, but let's go ahead and listen.
Panic in the bathroom, gonna have a temper tantrum. Good looking and you almost handsome. God knows you wanna pay that ransom. Boy, you wanna lick this thigh, but you ain't got the appetite. Hold tight, hold up. You bark while I bite. This ain't love, it's chemical. Don't catch your feet for the sentimental. This shit ain't real, delusional. You're into me, I'm international.
My first note is he better put in the fucking work. But yeah, I really liked the balance of like her really breathy like rapping vocals though, paired with her completely popping off on the chorus. I thought that made for a cool like juxtaposition. Those horns were fun, and then the Rush outro is really funny to me. Like she like just like really blurted out, "I'm emotionally unavailable. You know I keep it raw," and I thought that was just so funny.
This was another like really like nice track. You get the super 90s keys to like open it up with like the heavier filters. Yeah, really stompy club dance music. Super classical without being like super aggressive, even though it is bass heavy house music, which I can appreciate a lot. Yeah, it's a nice track. I was listening to it while I was at work. I think you said that you were doing the same thing too, which I feel like is doing it a disservice because it's certainly not sitting in front of a computer type of track. I think it's there is a billion things I would have rather been doing than sitting there doing it at that point. But just the way that she blends in like, you know, the disco, funk, soul vibes into what she was doing with the house music, I think worked really, really well on this one. It's really another really cool track. Yeah. That brings us into I Like It Hot featuring Green Tea Peng, who I'm also a big fan of Green Tea Peng, so I was really excited to see that they were going to be on this album. So let's go ahead and give this one a listen.
For the music, this the time, don't lose it. For the bass, move through it. With the rhythm, can't lose it. Move through the music, this the time, don't lose it. For the bass, move through it. With the rhythm, can't lose it. Draw me in close. Let the toe soak in. I'm feeling you. I want to know if you like it hot. 'Cause I like it hot. Yeah, I like it hot. Yeah, I like it hot.
Oh. I love this song. This song was so good.
This is also one of my favorites. Cool.
Also,
is that a marimba? Because it was such a chimey little beat happening. I don't know if it was just in the beginning. I don't know. I was really enjoying it. Anyway,
it might have been, but obviously, like I'm a big fan of Green Tea Peng, so like this was. I knew I was probably gonna like this. You get a lot jazzier of an influence on this. It's got like a darker kind of atmosphere to it. Peng sits in this space like super well, upping the drums a bit and giving them a bit more of a manic presence, but also again like just really really nicely balancing them so they don't end up so in your face as you're going through it. Yeah, this was a really dope track. The drums are a blast, the mixing is top tier. It hits in that soulful kind of vibe with the jazzier tones. It makes me think about like backtracks of like 90s hip hop stuff that I really appreciated, like Tribe Called Quest, Wu-Tang Clan style production, the MF Dooms, like those kind of areas where they feel a little bit more experimental because they're playing around with those jazzier samples. Yeah, this one hit a pretty rock solid spot for me.
Yeah, I really like this track. The vocals and just the vibe of this was just so smooth and cool. I was like really enjoying it. Yeah, I haven't stopped bouncing to the beat at my desk since I started this album too at this point. Just
it
like
is
I know
definitely,
I was
like
having
I said,
the most fun in the office yesterday.
This is definitely a mover for sure.
Yeah.
100% with you. And then that brings us into Private Eye, featuring Rochelle Jordan, which Rochelle Jordan I'm also a huge fan of, so I'm excited. I was pumped when I saw that we got 2 tracks with her. Her last album in 2025, Through the Wall, was one of my favorite albums of the year last year. I enjoyed it so much. So I was really excited. So
You're getting all giddy.
Let's go ahead and listen to Private Eye.
Give me your information and I will give you a key. A private conversation is something you can have for free. Private eye, I'm all that you need. Fantasize, computer screen. You and I don't call it love, call it love. Private eye.
This is
Her
my favorite
vocals.
song on the album.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Her vocals are stunning. They're so pretty, very very sweet. Okay. So I really like the dreaminess of this track. Like it just felt, I don't know, kind of like airy. My only complaint about it though, and I think the beat switch ups were really cool. It kept like throwing me off when I was like bopping though, where it's like if I was like actually dancing, I think I'd get confused, but I still really enjoyed it.
It's because you don't understand how a beat drops, man.
I know I don't. I'm not.
How?
I know. I'm a.
That's the whole point. Is to stop for just a moment and then get back into it. You
Yeah,
take that
so-
moment to breathe, and then you.
Okay, that's cute. Okay,
You know what I
That
want?
makes
Like
me
that's
like-
the
yeah.
whole point.
Okay.
We got to go to like an electronic show at some point.
I don't. I'm new to this.
That's 100% what that's like. That is intentional. It is to actually get you to stop moving for just a moment, and then when it drops, that's when you go nuts.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
sick.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, obviously this luxury pop sort of space with it, which is really fun. You got these tapping drums before the bass really kicks in, which was really cool. And then it opens up to such a fun jam after the drop. I love those. Like the drops on this one were just. They're so good. They were so good. Like I said, I love Rochelle Jordan, so like that was already going to be something that I was going to like appreciate. But like, yeah, that drop is just too good. It's just so perfect. There's that mid breakdown kind of in between and that spastic like melody that kind of comes through with it. Yeah, this was my favorite track on the album for sure.
Cool.
But
I need to
then we
re-listen
get
now.
over to a little Smoke and Mirrors with Miss Maddie McFerrin, which you know who Madison McFerrin is, right?
Mm-mm.
Bobby McFerrin's daughter, Bobby McFerrin, who wrote "Don't Worry, Be Happy."
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
this
have
is
that
his daughter.
context now. Thank you.
There you go. I was like, I have a feeling you don't know who Madison
I
McFerrin
had no
is. Yeah.
idea. Thank
But
you.
yeah, here you go. Madison McFerrin also is a very talented artist in her own right. I should say
Yeah.
it's not just her dad that
Yeah,
is the
like
reason
she had
she's
she
famous.
had like a
She's
name
had
to
some
get
and
her
like some
started.
really really nice albums that I've appreciated a lot like over the last couple of years. So I would recommend go and spin
Okay.
some Maddie in the near future. But yeah, let's listen to some Smoke and Mirrors.
We've gone way too far, way too far. won't ask for your validation. I'm taking back my time. It's a different interpretation. Don't even ask me why. I won't ask for your validation. I no longer have the time. It's another conversation. It's only smoke and mirrors. Am I about to fall? This is something serious. I'm giving it my all. It's only smoke and mirrors. I'm addicted to it all. I'm addicted to it all.
Okay, so in comparison to what we've listened to, this is my least favorite on the album, but I still think it's like really pretty. I like the piano backed like jazzy vibe. I thought like her vocals and the backing vocals were very pretty. I liked how they were harmonizing. I just like it maybe it just confused me because it felt like a piano ballad, but that beat was so intense and it was a really cool juxtaposition, but I didn't know, I don't think, how to handle it. But like I appreciated it at the same time because it's not something you hear very often. So I don't know. I think this track just mostly confused me because I've never heard anything like it before.
I get it because obviously it starts off like a really soulful R&B kind of style on it. And then it drops, and then that's where you get that really kind of funk soul style that kind of like comes through on it. I think it's incredibly fun. I thought it was really nice there. Maddie's vocals are just like top notch. Like she's an incredible
Very
vocalist. But they're really pure while the rest of the track feels really dancey. I like that part. Like that, to me, I thought that works really, really well together. You get a lot of these like little earworms to keep drawing from with the piano, these subtle guitar notes and stuff like that in it. I don't disagree that it does feel like the biggest separation, I think, from house music. So if you're already kind of in that house music like mindset, then this does feel pretty different.
Yeah.
From that, it does kind of sit more in like a soulful R&B. It is still house music, but it just it takes such a back seat to everything else that's going on kind of around it. So like I can kind of see where you're coming from. I still think it's a really fun one, especially well, and then the way that she goes into like those really soulful like flat notes at the end of those choruses and things like that too. Kind of adds a little bit to the confusion. It feels like the song structure is a little bit more deconstructed than, like I said, the rest of the album has felt so far. So I thought it was a really cool way to actually like show the different experimentation with how she wanted to like really build this song entirely, right?
Yeah.
But also, like I said, Maddie's voice being so pure is also tough when you're thinking dance music. You know what I mean? You're used to having kind of a little bit of synthetic something kind of going on there. It was just she's so pure and sweet in her voice that it doesn't mesh perfectly with, you know, the fact that you're expecting to be kind of stomping around on a dance floor.
I kind of want like dirty, grungy, bad bitch energy, and this isn't. This is the furthest track from that.
It for sure is.
Yeah.
So, well, let's see if you get it back with New Wave Groove. Also featuring Rochelle Jordan, which I was again stoked about because I appreciate her so much. Let's go ahead and give it a listen.
It's getting late, and we're not through. The DJ playing our favorite tune. Let's celebrate to the new wave groove. That's how we do, that's how we do, that's how we do. We're gonna take it back to my house. Yeah, baby, let's do this again. We're gonna take it back to my house. We're gonna take it back to my house. The new wave groove, 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 the new wave groove.
Yeah, we're back to what I'm enjoying more.
I knew this was going to be based on how you felt about everything else. Yeah, obviously this gives you the fashion show house music
We're
vibe
voguing again.
right?
Yeah.
It's still a ton of fun, but it really presses into that more luxury pop sort of style on this. But it's nice to get the up tempo back and everything like that, bringing in some horns, which was kind of exciting. I like that part. A little more Rochelle Jordan was never going to let me down. I knew that. Obviously, this one's a little bit less in my wheelhouse, especially than the first Rochelle Jordan track. It's dancey, it's fun, but again, it's not necessarily my place. You're looking for the bad bitch energy. I wasn't looking for that, so
yeah, I want to keep the Vogue vibe going. Yeah, I was very, very glad we're back to more like dance centric kind of a vibe. Also, I guess it's just something like that you taught me is just a house standard or house. I don't know. It's just part of house, but like I'm appreciating how like the repetitiveness in the lyrics, like the takes or like the new wave grooves. I like how it's just serving as like an additional beat rather than like actual lyricism. And I think that's a lot of fun. Like I'm finding a lot of appreciation for it. I just don't have a lot of experience in house music at all. So yeah.
That's like, the whole point is that repetition. Yeah. It becomes kind of part of the dance, the dance beat that it's trying to create. Right.
It's cool. I like it.
Yeah. 100%. That brings us over to Rush Me featuring Mahalia. This one, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it does get a little bit grittier for you. So let's get gritty about this.
Don't rush me, take your time, we're not in love. Don't rush me, don't rush me. Don't rush me, take your time, we're not in love. Don't rush me, don't rush me. No competition. Let's talk this through. Make my decision. I'm stuck on you. It's an illusion. I'll make your dreams come true and watch all your troubles float away. Holding on too tight, let me loose. I need a little time to think it through. I'll tell you what I wanna do.
I really like whatever that like chimey like marimba-esque beat is because it's back again on this one and I'm like really enjoying it. I don't know, it's fun. This one, I know you mentioned it earlier on how her production is just impressive on how she's still able to keep the vocals such a highlight. And this one is one that it really clicked for me how impressive it was because there's so much happening in the background of this
100%.
track and you never lose the vocals. I was kind of like stunned at that. Yeah, and I put again just like lyrics have been repetitive on this album, but it makes sense for the genre, and I'm like finding a lot of appreciation in it. Like that's usually something that annoys me, and it hasn't bothered me at all. So
yeah, obviously, like I said, you get that grittier beat with it. You know what I mean? Like, which is obviously something that you mentioned that you actually appreciated because I actually talked about you in my notes on this one. This one's very dance floor centric, like very dance floor centric. The cool reprieves and the return of the bass is a fun way to like really kind of give the whole track a lot of like just really fun complexion that I appreciated. Love the super 90s horny synths that it has. Horn, like as in like playing the horn, not
I know
horny
what you're
synths. All right, they're not synths that are trying to get laid. When it comes to incorporating emotion, I was really curious how you're actually going to like feel about this because usually you're very like lyric driven, and I'm like, this is not really lyric driven music. So I was curious how you're going to feel about it. But
I've settled into it well.
Honestly, when it's just dancing all the time,
exactly.
I feel like it's still going to be up your alley. But yeah, that brings us over to the next track, Satisfied, featuring Jacob Lusk. Let's go ahead and spin that for us. Satisfied.
Understand. I'm listening. This ain't a minstrel show. You see me and you think you know. Power deep down inside me grows now. Listen up and I'll tell you. Stronger than a sequoia. Can't be drowned by the water. Got my grandmama's fire. Sweeter than jambalaya. Ooh, listen and understand. Listen and understand. I'm listening. I ain't the one to play with. Don't you fuck with me now. Don't you play with me. Don't you fuck with me now. This ain't my first rodeo. I know what's going on now. Don't you play with me. Don't you fuck with me now.
His his vocals are so unique. I loved them though. Like I've just never heard anyone sound like that before.
It works so well with it too.
Really did. Yeah, we opened up with like a monologue dedicated to Black greatness, which I'm actually kind of like shocked we haven't gotten yet, but I appreciated it. I love how the chanting vocals really demand that you listen in this one. Like they're so powerful.
Yeah.
And then we got a nice little rap. Vocals were just smooth as hell. I really appreciated it. I like this track a lot.
100%. It was a really cool opening sample. I thought it gave a really cool mood. I appreciated that. The reggaeton vibe on this was actually like a really nice mix up from everything else, especially when, you know, a lot of it has kind of lended its hand more towards that luxury pop kind of sounds, whereas this really like took a little bit more grassroots. And I think maybe that's kind of a little bit as to why I think this was the first track that had, you know, like the kind of Black empowerment message at the very beginning of it. Because this one kind of dove more into like stepping into like the reggaeton kind of sound and like attaching that to the house music, as opposed to, you know, like I said, everything else kind of sounded a little bit more runway-esque and a little bit more
fair.
You know what I mean? So I really appreciate it. I figured there was going to be something like this on this track, like on this project eventually. It was just when they were going to pull it out, and this is when it hit. Like I said, the way that she understates her backtracks is just really pleasant for people who aren't necessarily EDM people. I think it's approachable for anybody to be able to listen to and be like, this is fun. I can enjoy this. As opposed to, you know, it's not like if you think mid 2000s dubstep where people have this kind of connotation about, you know, EDM music, because like
Skrillex,
they were exactly like the Steve Aoki style EDM music, where it's like, no, like EDM is just way too much for me. This is still EDM. This is what it is, and it's a lot when it's done when it's done well and it's done properly. And you're right, maybe it isn't the ketamine fueled rave music that you might associate EDM with. Yeah. This is the stuff that was happening in the cellars of New York and stuff like that, where you only have 90 people in there and everybody is just having a couple of drinks, enjoying themselves. House music was designed to kind of be playing in the background so people could dance, but also sit down and be able to talk to one another. And this is a really, really cool,
mature. Like it's
100%.
Yeah,
and I think that's the biggest thing, is a lot of people don't realize that they could be really into EDM music if it wasn't for the fact that they're just what they assume is Project X style EDM music. It's not all like that. A lot of it can be a lot more downplayed and low key and fit the vibe and the atmosphere. And actually, I would say EDM is the best at fitting an atmosphere, because there's so much variation between how it all sits that you can plug it into really any situation. You just need to find the right stuff. And this was one of those songs that like really stood out to me. I'm like, you know what? Like, I can assure people that they will find something that they'll appreciate about something like this, as opposed to, you know, so much of the other EDM that's out there. So yeah, there's that. And then we step onto the moon. Let's listen to the next track, Welcome to the Moon, featuring Corey C. And I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know. It's like core.ece. So like Coreyce. I don't know. And Dave Giles the second. Let's go ahead and listen.
The second. So futuristic compared to everything else.
This really borders on like techno, and I would personally call it, I mean, like tech house is like a real like thing, and people just started calling house and techno music tech house because it can be so interchangeable. And so this, in my opinion, is a lot more techno. and
Okay.
I'm not a big techno guy, so like this one was not my track. But obviously, she's from Chicago. Chicago was one of the biggest techno scenes in North America. Like techno was huge in Chicago, so it makes sense. This is back to her roots. This is what she was listening to. This was what inspired her to be a DJ, was this kind of style of techno music. It would have been impossible for her to miss based on the places that she was hanging out and doing that kind of stuff. So the vocals are obviously really jarring on this one. It's just spoken word with a heavy synthesized filter over it. It's not for me. I'm not a techno person.
It was just very futuristic. I'm not a big fan of like futuristic stuff typically either. But there was a butter narrative that fucking made me cackle laugh. Like, did you catch it? That it's Butter Baby, Armored Butter Baby, Lens of the Lakes Baby. I can't believe it's not Real Myself. I fucking died. I thought that was so fucking funny. Like, why are we making all these butter puns in the middle of a Moon song? I don't know what's going on.
It doesn't really matter.
But it was crazy. I literally cackled. It got bonus points for the butter.
It's definitely it's an experience. If you like techno music, this one's for you. Yeah, 100%. It's just this one wasn't for me. And honestly, when we got into this album, I assumed there was going to be chunks of it that weren't going to be for me, and so this was one of those tracks, like, for sure. So yeah, it's a whole thing. But let's move on to "Okay Daddy." "Okay Daddy," also featuring Core EC, Gavin Turek, and Rush Davis. Let's go ahead and play a little bit of this.
Show me the fucking money. Don't try nothing funny. I hear you calling me Miss Honey. Me Miss Honey. Yes, it's me. Honey Daddy, okay Daddy, okay Daddy, I see you Daddy. Okay Daddy, okay just Daddy, watch. Okay Daddy, I hear you Daddy. Okay Daddy, okay Daddy, watch. Okay Daddy, I hear you Daddy. Okay Daddy, okay just Daddy, watch. Okay Daddy, I hear you Daddy.
That was cute. Now watch me execute. Catch the beat. Pumping full steam.
I'm so glad that was the clip you got too, because the pumping full steam followed by the whole go like chants is so fucking funny. This is my favorite on the album, and I knew it was going to be far from yours, but god damn it, I love this fucking song. It is so much fun. I mean, obvious, like, clear nod to ballroom culture with the Miss Honey. Like, I had so much fucking fun.
It's
fun.
I don't know how you manage to concentrate the 90s in such a short period of time. It was... We're back to house music, so I was actually happy about that part of it. I wrote, "Okay, Daddy." The 90s fashion show vibe is spilling all over this thing, and like it added like a little bit of that dancier nature, but like that made it just even more 90s. I think it's fun. More because it's just lacking any inhibition whatsoever.
We're just pumping, baby.
I can't say I hate it.
I love it.
Actually,
I love it so much.
It's so much fun.
It's incredible.
I don't I can't take it like as somebody who like critiques music, I don't know how to judge it.
You don't.
You know what I mean? Because it's so outrageous and out there and crazy fun. But like its intention is specific, and I can't think of a song that does that better.
So good.
it's just super not mine.
I love it. This was so much fun.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, this is why we don't cover a whole lot of EDM. It's super not up my alley, but like, I'd be completely amiss to be like, I'm going to be at a bar 10 vodka crans deep and this song comes on, I wouldn't be on the dance floor as the sweatiest human being that's ever existed.
Duh.
Like that's
You gotta
what
fucking
this,
be
and that's
Vogan,
exactly what
baby.
the song's there for. So like 10 out of 10 in terms of what it's gonna be.
So
When I was sitting at work, like working on spreadsheets, and I was listening to this,
it was not the right vibe
it's
for sure.
not the right place. But like, yeah, just
It's one of those songs too where I was like, God, if my headphones were to disconnect for some reason, this would be so embarrassing to be blasting in the office. But luckily that
just
didn't
like, how do
happen.
you explain just like
Okay,
all of your
Daddy.
coworkers
Okay,
drink?
Daddy. It's like,
How do you
what the
explain that?
fuck, Mel?
But yeah, so that was yeah, it's definitely an experience, and like I said, if it's the experience you're looking for, I'm sure it's 10 out of 10.
This is exactly what I wanted from this album. Exactly.
Yeah. I believe that. I believe that entirely. But now we get what was kind of it is the title track, but what was also the opening track. But this is not the club mix, not the extended play. This is just the track in and of itself. This is the Nightlife featuring Chloe. So let's go ahead and give a listen to it now that we're at this point.
That's where I wanna be. I wanna be. I let the feeling unstress me. I let the feeling caress me. I let the feeling go knee deep. I let the feeling. I take the pain and I burn it. I break the chains. I earned it. I turn around and I work it. I work it.
I loved her vocals,
Yeah.
especially when she gets like really, really breathy. I really loved her vocals. Yeah, and the refrain was really satisfying to me. Were my main notes, other than I literally put, I feel like I need to listen to this in the extended play back to back to understand what the difference is. I did put like, is the first one a little less remixed to make it more sampleable? But yeah, you explained that.
Yeah, I got you.
So
Don't worry about it. But yeah, obviously you get like a little bit more of kind of a techno-y vibe here, and that's like I said, like where that's where techno and house just really kind of blend in together. Because yeah, you're right, you're not getting that backbeat as prevalent, but you are getting it sometimes, and so like this is where it really, really mixes in together and becomes kind of muddy between the two. So yeah, very tech housey, obviously, on this. Chloe's vocals are fantastic on this. Again, really understated backtrack that's really playing nicely to kind of open things up. It's not really aggressive, in your face type of house. I like the choppier beat on it. Feels like really intentionally understated so that it does feel approachable. You know what I mean? Again, like this feels like music that you or I could get up and go on the dance floor and like enjoy and appreciate, right? Very different from, like I said, when you talk about like aggressive dubstep and hard step and those types of EDMs where it's, for you and I, we just look at it anxiously and be like, there's zero chance that you're going to get me. This can actually get us up and moving. You know what I mean? It makes it so much more approachable, which I like on that. So I thought the track was pretty top notch. I strongly recommend, obviously, the second part over the extended play. If you're just listening kind of casually. If you're playing at a club, obviously, there's a reason that they want to boost the bass. I said it right this time. Hell yeah.
bass
I got
the
it.
boost.
Bass the boost. Yeah, and then that takes us into the last track of the album, which is the same as the second track of the album. It's Slight Work. It's just a club mix of that. So again, just bass boosted. Has the extended cut on both sides. Makes it more easy to play and stuff like that. So we're not going to dive into a sample or anything like that. We already listened to it. So
It's a banger.
yeah. Mel.
Nice. Yes.
So how did you feel about Miss Honey Dijon?
Yeah, this was a fun experience for me. I did put there's a lot here that I can appreciate it. appreciate. Not all of it is necessarily for me, but I still like found I was learning a lot through this experience. I'm a big fan of I'm That Bitch energy. So obviously when we turned up
something you learned.
when we turned up the bitch, I I liked it even more. The beats were all very impressive. There were points that the switch ups like took me out of the vibe I was enjoying the most. So I got confused at points, but even with that, I was just very impressed that the production was as clean as it was and the vocals were just as prevalent as they were. I was consistently impressed with her talent, even if I wasn't necessarily enjoying it the most. I rated it a 7.8.
Okay. Wow. Look at that. All in all, I think it was a fine album, and I'll be honest with you, my rating of it is getting better as we were listening to those clips and stuff like that too. Because again, when I'm at work, I don't listen to it through. I mean, I'm listening to it while I'm at work. I also don't listen to it through headphones, which makes a pretty big difference. So I was actually appreciating a lot of these things a lot more. So I think this is a really solid intro for us covering EDM music in the future, and gives us kind of a strong base to work with on that side of things. That said, I mean, when it comes to EDM, obviously repetition is a pretty big part of it, and repetition is something that I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of. It's by design, supposed to be that, so there's a few tracks that I still really enjoyed, but like especially when, you know, she merged the soul and R&B together. But as far as like a house aficionado, I'm super not. I do really appreciate a good chunk of what her style is. I can appreciate the artistry of it. As an entire album, as a project, that's where I kind of have to look at things a little bit more critically and be like, you know, how does the flow of an album work? Well, it's not supposed to work the way that I usually critique things. So like, that's why it's really hard for me to be able to judge it, because, you know, I think about things like the theme. I think about things like the consistency. I think about things like the actual like overall volume that they get like between tracks and stuff like that. Well, this is always going to have the same BPM and a similar beat structure because it's house music. That's what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? So that's a tough one for me. And I really struggle with how to properly review it and particularly put a number on it. It's easy to review it and be like, it's fun. Honestly, I really enjoy the album. So my number isn't going to be exactly like the best description of it all. But for my situation, and obviously listening while I'm at work, it's hard to write critically about it. It's fun. There's tracks that I wouldn't be mad if they popped on, and I can fully appreciate the artistry on it. Unfortunately, I think just EDM is just a really tough thing to rank. I gave it a 6. And that was after I had originally given it a 5.8 before we started doing the review today. I was at a 5.8 on it.
Yeah, that's way too low.
But like, honestly, like I do really enjoy it. It's just like, it's so mood dependent and so like specific to that I think that makes a huge difference on it.
I agree. I did also boost, like I kind of go by a average on I try to rate every song and then I average, and then based on my overall mood, I might like adjust it. I did bump it up a little bit because I don't know. I really appreciate a lot of it.
Yeah, 100%.
It was fun. And Okay Daddy's a fucking banger, so
I don't think it's for me. But
incredible.
That's fine. Maybe Mel's just more of a techno girl. Turns out we're learning a lot about Mel today. But tell us what your thoughts are. Did you turn yourself into a techno person because of Okay Daddy? Are you feeling Okay Daddy? I guess is just let us know in the comments. Hit like, hit subscribe. Tell us if we're right. Tell us if we're wrong. Obviously, we care to hear what you guys feel about it. But yeah, kind of a cool album from Honey Dijon with the Nightlife. Yeah. Without further ado, I think that's kind of it. This is another album review by On Beat Off Script. I'm Brandito. That's Mel, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah. Mwah.
Peace out. 3, 2.